What are you saying? Spooky, what are you saying? Oh, there's Cleo. What's up, Cleo? Ooh, you got a lot of pollen on you. I mean, you're glowing all golden. Yep. Oh, well, you got plenty of food. And it's a beautiful day in my neighborhood. Yeah, we got some thin, wispy clouds up there today. Light breeze, 76 degrees. Whew. I do think springtime's here. Of course, when I woke up this morning, it was 38 degrees. Imagine that. From 38 to 76. That's quite a span. Well, I hear my little birdie friends chirping in the distance. Once they hear me, of course, they'll come on over and visit Mr. Tom in his neighborhood. What you doing, Spooky? You okay? You happy? Oh, well, there you are, friends and family. As you can see, I got my little Cleo here with me, wanting to get up in my lap. Don't you, Cleo? Oh, you're so beautiful. Papa loves you. You love Papa? Well, as you can see, she does. And the sun's starting to set lower in the sky. And I missed seeing y'all yesterday. But I do hope you had a happy St. Patty's Day, and if you celebrated it, maybe you'll let me know how you did celebrate it and what you had for your St. Patty's Day. I had great plans for yesterday, and I guess that's what I wanted to get with all of you and talk a little bit about. And that's making plans. Whether they're daily plans, weekly plans, or, yearly plans, long-term goals. Most of us are retired now. If we're not retired, and you're watching old Mr. Tom in his neighborhood, you're probably getting close to retirement. I know what my demographics are. They're from about 45 years old on up. Makes up the majority of us seniors here in our neighborhood. But yeah, I used to do a lot of planning. And yesterday I got up. I really didn't have a plan. Well, I had sort of one. I was going to invite all of y'all over because I knew you'd sneak over anyway if you knew I was cooking. And I was going to share with you what I was going to have for my St. Patty's meal. Yep, I had cabbage. I had other things that I was going to put together and share with you a fantastic St. Patty's meal. But I went into the kitchen, and because my energy levels are still rather low, my stovetop was looking a little beat up and nasty. I cook a lot, as you've seen. I can't remember how many cooking videos I have, but I've got quite a few. So I do cook a lot. And it was in dire need of getting spruced up, cooktop underneath the grates, around the burners and what have you. So I thought, well, I'll jump on that real quick, get that knocked out of the way, do my prep work. Of course, y'all will all wander in the kitchen and we'll start the show. Well, that stuff on top of that range top over the winter time, it gotten rather burnt on. Maybe that's another thing you'll help me with. You'll let me know how you approach getting it all off. Yeah, it was rather baked on. I tried several heavy-duty degreasers. That didn't work. I've tried the baking soda and vinegar thing, and I don't know who that works for. If this worked for you, let me know. It's never worked for me. And I scrub a lot. So I had to break out, the big guns, the easy off, and spray, what I couldn't get off. And I wound up taking most of the day getting my stove back all nice and shiny and white again. So my plans went awry, or array, whichever way you want to pronounce it. And by the time I got that stovetop cleaned up, the grates cleaned up, you know how all kinds of crusty things get burnt on them. I was pretty much wore out. About all I could do is make up some bean burritos and call it a night. But yeah, that was the plan, and the plan all went right. And do y'all make plans for what you're going to do the next day? Yeah, I did some wash. I did some other chores. Because yesterday, unlike today, was very cool. I mean, we only got up to 59 yesterday, and it was very windy. So it made it feel like in the 40s. And that's why I sort of switched gears, because my plan before, making my St. Patty's meal was to come out and pick up the yard. But when I came out here with the wind blowing like it was, and the temperature so low, this little old man was shivering everywhere, I would go. And that's why I changed plans in the first place. So as you can tell, my plans changed a couple of times from what I had planned the night before. And I've got a very good friend and close family member. We often talk in the evenings before we retire. And they often ask me, well, what's your plan for tomorrow? And most of the times I just say, well, I plan to get up. And that's important the older you get. I mean, come on, really? Yeah, that's the major one. Plan to get up. Especially if you have health issues and things of that nature. And I do. So every morning, I'm grateful just for the fact that I've gotten up and at least got that part of the plan out of the way. And of course, always, I thank God. And then I just make my coffee or some tea. And that's when I, check out how I'm feeling, take my meds, and decide, well, what's today going to be? And then you just see how it goes. Yeah, since I've retired, I always made plans before I retired. And see, I had this great plan of what my retirement was going to be, saving up for it, which I did. But things went, here again, awry. And that didn't work out. So I pretty much, anymore, about all the planning I do is short-term planning. It's just like this year. I've got a general plan. And maybe you'll share your plan for this year. What you're going to be up to. Any goals or what have you. But my plan for this year, the general plan, always subject to change, is get this outdoor property back the way I want it. And once that part of that plan is done, and that includes getting rid of the Focus, I'm actually thinking about selling off at least one, if not both trucks. I got to put a little thought in that. Because you can get about anything delivered if you want to. I mean, if you need appliances, they'll bring them right to your door. They'll put them in the house. If you need lumber, they'll drop it off right here in front of the porch. And most of the time, depending on how much you buy, delivery is free. So I'm not sure I even need to keep a truck. But I do, and I always have, kept a backup vehicle. So I'm thinking I'll keep at least one truck. And both run too. Some people think they're junk. No, they're not. But that's the first goal. Get where I can manage the yard as easily as I can. I'm not going to do a whole lot of gardening this year. I spent some time this winter going through what I spent last year and years back. And I keep track of what, I harvest. And with our water and sewer rates where they are right here in this little small town, it's just not very economical anymore to have a small garden. I might put in a tomato plant or two. I'm going to probably have some collards and kale, give me that fresh leafy greens, all packed with vitamin K, vitamin C. Did you know those greens had vitamin C and vitamin K in them? And many other essential vitamins? Maybe you didn't. You should look it up. I didn't for years and years. Mom always said, eat your greens. Well, so Grandma and great-grandma. And we'd always shrug. Of course, we ate them when we didn't get up from the table. You know how that was. So I'm probably going to do that. And other than that, I'm going to continue to declutter my house with the sole goal of this winter being able to take a room, do a thorough cleaning. When I mean thorough, I mean ceilings, walls, floors, what have you. Do that through the winter time. So next year, I can start to do some repairs and a little touch-ups. I'd planned to totally remodel this house when I retired. And at one time, I had the money to do that. But things came up. And then, of course, just recently survived cancer. And nobody gives cancer treatment away, if you want to know. It's expensive. So, money's tight. So yeah, making plans anymore, they're not rigid. They're flexible. If I can somehow work them out, make them happen, I'm fine. If they don't happen, I'm not going to get all stressed out. But it's because of some comments made, poor planning, or you don't plan, or whatever. Oh yeah, we plan. We just don't plan as rigidly as we used to when we were younger. Or at least I don't, and that's why I'm thinking about when I was just in the kitchen getting ready to prepare dinner, which I might add will be flavorful. And I'm trying a new technique. Well, it's not a new technique, but it's one I don't often use, where I'm going to be using the toaster oven more and more to cook as much of the meals as I can. First of all, less cleanup. Number one. Especially after, spending a day on a stovetop. And let me know here again if that's ever happened to you. So I'm going to go in, prepare nearly the whole meal in the toaster oven in one shot. Well, I'm going to have a side or two that you just can't get in the toaster oven. It ain't that big. But the primary thing, the entree, the protein, and at least one of the sides will all go in the toaster oven. And then I'll prepare the other two while everything's, shaking and baking in the toaster oven. I'm going to try that more often. It just seems to make more sense. And I know from y'all's comments down below the video, it's hard to cook for one. It's hard to cook for two. I understand all that. The older we get, the less energy we get. We're not inspired, A lot of times at night, I know I've done it. I just go get the box of cereal, pour up a bowl, pour in the milk, and I'm done. I won't lie. No shame in that. So that's what we're up to today. We've been cleaning some of the kitchen. I mean, that is one room that I want to totally strip out, clean it from top to bottom. And if it's clean, yeah, it's going to have some chip paint, some dull areas. I mean, it's 80 years old. What do you expect? That's why it's a little old country kitchen. But some people will be derogatory no matter what. And I'm going to enjoy some things this year. We'll do our rideabouts. I want to go to a few places and take you to. I mean, they're fairly local. I used to take the kids to. They're educational, informative, and historical. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, I just wanted to come out here for a minute and make sure you had a wonderful St. Patty's Day. Get your thoughts on planning and what you do. Since, like I say, pretty much we're all retired. Hey, how you doing there, Ricky? I'm doing good for an old guy.
I understand.
I've got to do what you're doing tomorrow, pick up sticks.
You got what?
I got to pick up sticks too tomorrow.
I'm tired of picking them up.
Yeah, me too. I had a big pile they picked up today. If you want to, Ricky, you can just put them right there. That's where my pile's going to be.
No, I'll take them on down there. What are you going to pick them up at? Then they're going to charge you $5 for picking them up.
I know. Ain't that a shame?
That's crazy, ain't it?
Take care. And that was my neighbor across the street, Ricky. You see, in the South, we're still neighborly and respectful. And I think that's something we've sorely lost in a lot of America today. But hey, I got to run back in and get that dinner prepared. And if you'd like to see what I'm doing in the toaster oven, once I, perfect each meal, I'll gladly show it to you. Because it's really easy. You just don't got to stand there on your feet forever at the end of the day when us old folk are all wore out. So until Spooky, Cleo, Queen of the Yard, and of course, little Gracie, the Princess of the House, see y'all in that next video. Y'all take care. Stay safe out there. And may God bless you all as you bless those in your lives. Goodbye for now. And I don't know if you caught it. Cleo and Spooky, yep, are having a tid. Later on.